Hello everyone, I'm Suzanne Tamang and this is my digital documentation for 106 and here are my traces of learning. When I look back at this semester, I realized that some of my most meaningful learning happened when I slowed down and noticed something within myself. Through this course, I began to understand that becoming an educator is not only about learning how to teach children, it is also about learning how to listen, observe, be present, and remain curious. One of the first things I noticed was how my image of the child began to change. During the webinar, I saw children climbing, balancing, exploring materials, and discovering things for themselves. It reminded me that children communicate in many different ways, not only through words, but through movements, facial expressions, imagination, questions, silence, and their interactions with materials. This connects with the idea of the children's 100 languages. I realized that as educators, we should not limit these ways of communicating. Instead, we should notice what children are already capable of and value the process of exploration rather than only focusing on the final outcome. Following this, my studio experience was a very personal experience. Being surrounded by different materials made me curious and helped me reconnect with my inner child. In the lab studio, there were three different curated rooms filled with different materials. When I explored each and every room, I felt like I wanted to touch, I wanted to experiment and explore without worrying about doing something perfectly or make a product out of it. It made me realize that children may also see materials in ways adults do not expect. This reminded me that I want to create environments where children can experiment, make mistakes, and follow their curiosity. It also reminded me that if I want to encourage curiosity in children, I need to protect my own curiosity too. Another important realization was seeing the environment as a third teacher. During the lab, I noticed that different spaces invited different responses. Some made me want to slow down, while others encouraged me to build, create, or explore. For instance, in one of the rooms, I'm imagining myself as a fortune teller who can predict things, whereas in one of the other rooms, I'm looking through this device through the hologram or projector where we can see flowers in very zoomed lenses. Whereas in the last rooms, me and one of my classmates are copying the wooden dolls that are spinning, pretending to be classical ballroom dancers who are competing professionally. This experience also helped me realize that the educator does not always have to direct the learning. The environment and the children's interests can guide what happens in the activity, which also helps in extending the child in their learning. My forest experience in King Campus affected me in a personal level. Since moving to Canada, I realized I'd stopped spending as much time outdoors as I used to. Growing up in Nepal, greenery, beautiful landscapes, and spending time outside with friends and families were a part of my everyday life. Walking through the forest with my classmates brought back those memories. I felt like I was reconnecting with a part of myself that I had left behind. The trees, flowers, textures, and sounds created a sense of familiarity and belonging. The land reminded me of home. The mindfulness practice at the end of our forest experience was especially meaningful. Being able to be quiet and present helped me feel grounded. As a Buddhist, mindfulness has a personal connection to me, and the stillness felt familiar. At the same time, it made me a little homesick and reminded me of my connection to home that I had not been paying enough attention to since moving to Canada. This helped me understand land based pedagogy in a more personal way. It is not only something we learn facts about, it can also hold memories, create connection, ground us, and remind us where we come from. When I put these experiences together, I see that I'm learning to slow down, listen differently, notice children instead of immediately directing them, and see materials and environments as invitations for learning. Studio helped me reconnect with my inner child. The forest helped me reconnect with home. The webinars helped me think about how I want to connect with children. These experiences have shown me that becoming an educator is also about becoming more aware of myself, that I do not need to have everything figured out from the beginning. Maybe being an educator means staying curious and continuing to ask questions. One question I want to carry forward is, how can I create spaces where children feel free to explore, heard, and connected to a sense of belonging? I'm still learning, but I am beginning to understand the educator I want to be. Someone who slows down, listens with intentions, protects children's curiosity, and remains open to learning alongside them. These small moments from my semester have become threads in the person and educator I am becoming. This is the end of my discussion. Thank you so much for listening.